I'm Giulio Cappellini, I'm an architect based in Milan, and I like not so much maybe to work on single products, but to work as an art director. That's why I'm the art director of Cappellini, of Alcantara, of Ceramica Flaminia and some other companies, and also I like very much to organize design exhibitions worldwide, and I'm very happy of this possibility that I have to express my way of thinking about design with the new Marangoni Design School in Milan. I think that the idea to have a new campus in a so important city like Milan for design is absolutely something new, something very, very interesting, thanks to the international view of the Marangoni School. I know the Marangoni Fashion School since many years, and I have the maximum respect of this school because I think that it's really one of the best in the world. And today the idea of Marangoni to develop really also design campus, I think that is something absolutely very, very interesting and very, very important. Frankly speaking, there are three ideas. On one side, the name of Marangoni, the expertise of Marangoni. On the other side, students and design. On the third side, the city of Milan that is considered the capital of design. So I think that really these three elements together are absolutely very, very important, and this is a challenge. No, a new school can be a new challenge, but I think that these three elements can really make us winning. I am very interested always in looking what is going on with the young generation. And today, the nice thing is that in Milan we have young students coming from all over the world. Again, because the dream of each young person involved in design doesn't take care of it. They are coming from Japan, from Korea, or from France, or from England, and so is to be in Milan, to spend some months or some years in Milan. Because really, and this is till now true, the real creativity is in Milan. I think that, again, to be here, there is this possibility to create a strong connection between the school and the industry, because I think that is absolutely very, very important. I see that when I think to the Marangoni Fashion School, a lot of the students, when they finish their school, they are already ready to enter in a company, ready to be, they are ready for the market, and that is very, very important. So to try on one side to mix the experimentation that you can do with the school and the experimentation that you can do with the company, with the real market, is absolutely very, very important. And I think that this is really one of the first concepts of the Marangoni Design Campus. Many times, the two areas, the production and the culture, are too much far away. And so it takes a lot of time to try really to overlap these two very, very important sections of the study. I think that if really we will be able to have this strong cooperation with design students and design companies, for sure with the help of very good visiting professors and very good teachers, I think that we can reach our goal. And I definitely think that really Milano is the first step for Marangoni Design Campus, but at the moment is again the most important city, the most important place where to be. Fashion and design are very different and very similar. That means that in fashion and in interior design, we have to try to create objects for the people. And I think that the concept of utility, the concept of beauty, the concept of making people dreaming is absolutely the same. Sometimes people, they say that, okay, when you create something for fashion, you create something that maybe can be good for 1, 2, 3 years. Maybe when you design an interior product, you have to try to create something for more years, maybe a chair that can be good for the next 10 or 20 years. That depends, because also I think that in fashion we have iconic products that are still good after 20, 30, 40 years, since when they were created. So I think that at the end the approach is exactly the same, the sensibility to the materials, the sensibility to the use of the materials, the sensibility to design, to details is really absolutely very, very important. And I think that this kind of sensibility and professionality is absolutely the same if you are designing a bag or if you are designing a chair. We see that today there is more and more contamination between these two worlds. We see some fashion designers that they are starting to design interior collections on one side. On the other side, we see interior designers that they are starting to design bags or fashion collections. So that means that this contamination is also very interesting in terms of use of the materials and the use of colors. Use of materials sometimes is very interesting to use materials that they were created for fashion and you can use for interiors, speaking about textiles and also other materials. Or on the other side, to maybe use a palette of colors that they were created for fashion and to use also in interior design. So I think that really this contamination is getting closer and closer and is becoming more and more important, because I think that today we have to think to the international global market, and for sure fashion is the first step for the new countries just to get in contact with the Italian or the European culture. And after that there is design. So we see that more and more this sort of, in this globalization, I think that this sort of contamination is becoming quite strong. And sometimes it's really very, very difficult just to see which is where design finishes and where fashion starts. That means that there are some fashion designers that they work as architects, and on the other side there are architects that they work as fashion designers. So I strongly believe in this, and that's why I think that here in Marangoni, with the strong history that Marangoni has in fashion, can be a big support for the Marangoni Design Campus, because again I think that today we cannot just think to specific areas. Today the cultural area is more and more contaminated by different ideas that comes from all over the world. So on one side for sure there is this strong contamination between design and fashion, but on the other side there is contamination with art, there is contamination with lifestyle, and so on. So I think that more and more we have to think in a global way. That's why I think that we totally work in a different way since we are approaching design 50 or 60 or also 20 years ago maybe. Today we are more free, because we have to think that in creation we have this possibility to be more free, to be more eclectic, because on the other side also the end consumer is more free to mix and design in fashion and in design, to mix different products created by different designers, produced by different companies in different parts of the world with a different cost. No? They can spend a lot of money for a very iconic piece and maybe a few budget for just a product that you can for everyday use. So I think that this idea, this new freedom of the end consumer is something very, very important, and is something that designers in this industry have to take care of.